Morning, guys.
In 200 meters.
One guy commented and asked me if I can do a video about driving position. To be completely honest, I think you can find hundreds, if not thousands of them around the internet. So whoever that asked this question, I will not say thank you, because come on man, you can find this anywhere you like. Nevertheless, the correct seating position, your hands, it should be about this, because, or almost a 90 degrees. It depends person to person. All right, you shouldn't have your hands straight, because if you have your hands straight, just a little bit of turn of the steering wheel and your hands couldn't turn anymore. But if your hands are like this, you can turn a lot. You can twist the steering wheel a lot, way more than if your hands are straight. All right, that's the first thing. The second thing would be your shoulders. If against the back of your seat, your wrists should be on top of the steering wheel. That is the correct distance between you and the steering wheel. So that's another thing. The third one would be your legs. Try and do a full depress on the brake pedals. On the brake pedals, if after you fully depress, you notice your legs are straight, then you're gonna have your kneecaps blow off when you're in a frontal collision. So make sure, even at the most fullest depression of the brake pedals, your legs are somewhat, you know, there is an angle to your legs even at full depression, so that if you happen to go into a frontal collision, even after fully depressed, during the collision, your legs are not locked. You know, if your kneecaps are locked, the force is gonna come like that, and then your kneecaps will blow apart. But if your kneecaps are like this, when the forces come in, your legs can compress. Alright, so can absorb that impact. That's the standard basically seating position, and of course you have to have clear visual and all that. And some people prefer to sit lower in their cars. For me, it depends on what cars I drive. If I drive a smaller car, I don't mind sitting lower, but if I drive a big car like this with a super long hood, I prefer to sit a bit higher, so that I can see, I can have a better visibility of where my front is. If I'm seated in the Ferrari 488, I would sit really low, because there's virtually no front end. You don't have to worry about your front end, and the visibility of that car is so good. Okay, now the other thing that I myself came to this realization one day as I was driving the back roads. Okay, you know, there's a big difference. Most of the fatal accidents, most of our accidents happen on back roads, not our major highways or single lane roads like these. No, these are all minor fender benders, nothing much. Okay, the really deadly collisions always happen on back roads, where there's a contraflow of traffic, both sides coming, and one fucker decided to not pay attention, veer into another lane, and boom, head-on collision. That's the deadliest. Alright, and most collisions happen on those back roads. That day I was driving on back roads, right? I was seated like this because it's a long road. Then sometimes I put my hands here, below, down, and then here. And then as I was putting my, I think a lot of people have this habit, right? Putting one hand on top, and then maybe the other arm hanging on the window or on the armrest during a long distance drive. You can do that if you're on north-south highway and all that. But if you're on those back roads where, you know, you're traveling 80, another guy traveling 90, the speed of him approaching you is 170 km/h per hour. Okay, that is a massive one. That if that collides into you, whatever car you're in, you are probably dead. Okay, so as I was doing this, having my arm like that, suddenly one car was like boom, they just passed like that, and then I was like, wow, if that bugger had a sneeze or whatever and veered his steering wheel and come to me at the last 10-20 meters, I would have zero time to respond. I wouldn't even know he's coming. It would just be like BAM, you know. And if that happened, and if my airbag blew up, my watch, first of all, my hand is gonna break if the airbag blew up from here, because it's just gonna break my hand. I think it'll blow somewhere, okay? Not only that, I think the watch would be embedded inside my skull, and I would just die. I would be the first person who would die being hit by a G-Shock, maybe. So I was like, wow. Then when I came to that realization, I quickly put my hands back on the 9 and 3 position. There's a reason why you are advised to put your hands on this position, because it does not obstruct the airbag from blowing out. Alright? So that's the main reason. And apa ni suruh saya jalan mana ni? Okay, sorry. Yep, that is seating position. I guess what else is there to oh, ladies. I see a lot of ladies, you know, maybe because your size is petite, you're small size, and you're worried, and then you sit like that near to the front. Seriously, don't do that. Do not do that. It's very dangerous. When the airbag blows off, you're gonna, yeah, you wouldn't want to do that. Alright? And what else? Nothing much. That's it. That's a sitting position. And yeah.